Yeah, I mean, the physical aspect was demanding, and losing the weight was uncomfortable, and I was miserable. But I always say, when you're portraying real people, or if you're representing millions of people around the world, there are millions of people suffering from substance abuse and PTSD. There is a level of responsibility to do justice to those characters. So I always say hard work is good work, and if it's uncomfortable and if you're having a hard time, it means you're probably doing it right.
Yeah.
So for me, albeit it was difficult, but I wouldn't have changed the thing I'd done.
No, I think it's amazing, and I think it's just a beautiful, beautiful film, and I urge everyone to watch it. They can see it now, can't they? It's on right now, and on Apple, I think.
It's on Apple TV, yeah, correct.
And I think I'm a writer, but being an actor is similar in the sense that you get a chance to excavate other people's lives, and you have a chance to be curious, but also to kind of really empathize and sympathize. But it was just such a moving performance. It was amazing.
Thank you, Charlotte. That's very kind. Thank you.
I wanted to know that if you could remake any movie, this is another topic. If you could remake any movie, what film would it be and why?
See, that's a tough one again, because I think when I was doing Spider-Man 1 and we were prepping for that film, I sat down with my director and just sort of said, John Watts, who I love, I said, what do you want me to do? What do you want? And he basically said, I want you to be this generation's Marty McFly. That was his goal for me. And that was a challenge I was willing to accept, something I was really excited for, and ultimately something I think I achieved.
Yeah.
So people ask me all the time, you should play Marty McFly, you should play Marty McFly. I think that'd be really cool. That film is so perfect.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to play that character, and I'd love to whiz around on a hoverboard, and I'd love to do everything that happens in those films, you'd be doing a disservice to that story. So that would be the film I'd want to remake, because I would not let anyone remake it.
Yeah, so that's a really good answer.
I would get the rights and sit on it and not let anyone do it. Yeah.
Yes, get the rights right away. Okay, so I know that the world's slightly gone into meltdown, so my mind's been going off into other stratospheres, and I'm obsessed with Mars. And I'm just wondering, if you went to Mars, what movies would you take to remind you of Earth?
Wow, what movies would I take to remind me of Earth on Mars? One of my favourite films of all time is a really well-made film. It's a fantastic story. It's about family, more importantly, a father-son relationship. I have an amazing relationship with my dad, so I think that's why it hits home even harder. And it reminds me of home. It's a film I watch while I'm away. Obviously I spend a lot of time on the road, and it's a film I watch while I'm away. So I imagine on Mars it would have the same effect. But it is the Richard Curtis film About Time.
Oh, yeah.
And, again, not the coolest film in the world for an actor to say is one of their favourite films, but that film makes me so happy. And Rachel McAdams and Donald Gleeson are so watchable and fun and loving in that film that I'm a huge, huge fan of that film.
Yeah, Richard Curtis films, they should be prescribed on the NHS just because they make you happy, don't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. I had a friend on was it Spider-Man or Uncharted? We were on some film, one of the two that I was doing in the last year, and they were like, I want to watch a film tonight, but I'm feeling a bit blue, I don't know what I want to watch. I said, honestly, watch this film About Time, and if you don't come in tomorrow, ready to work, then that's on me. But I'm telling you, this film is going to make you so happy. It's an amazing film. That scene on the beach.
Did it work? Did they come in miserable? Or were they cheered up?
Do you know what? I don't think they watched it, actually. I don't think they watched it. I think they probably watched Fast and Furious 12 or something.
Spider-Man. Yeah. I wanted to see if there were questions from fans, because I know that they are very excited. And where are they? Where are the fans' questions? I can't see them.
Are you in the Olympic studios now?
Yes, I'm here. I wish you were here. You just.
I can't wait to come back.
Yes. Yes.
My brother Harry and I, because we're now home until January. My next job doesn't start. We're doing a show called The Crowded Room, which is really cool. And it doesn't start until January, I believe. So I've got so much time at home. So I'm just going to come and live there, essentially.
Yeah. The 17th, from the 17th. I basically live here. That's why they let me.
Is that when it opens? The 17th of this month? Of next month?
Now, yeah. 17th. Tom, you said, I don't know who this question's from. Oh, yes, it's from, I hope I'm saying this correct, Ailey Collins. Tom, you said recently you want to be more selective about the roles you take moving forward and perhaps return to your roots in indie films. What does that selectivity look like? Oh, this is an intelligent question. What are you looking for in a role and why?
I think the first thing is a challenge. If it's not something that particularly challenges me, then I'm not necessarily interested. I really like working hard and I really like pushing myself. So finding something that can really kind of take me out of my comfort zone. I like characters from places I've never been because it gives me an excuse to go to these places and experience them and learn about them. Obviously, director. Impossible. Yeah, like The Impossible. We went to Thailand. I've never been to Thailand. Love Thailand. I would love to go back to Thailand. So one of the massive luxuries of this job is you get to travel the world and spend more time in these places than you would do if you were on holiday. So if a character takes me to, I don't know, Iceland, I would be well up for that because I've always wanted to go to Iceland.
You see everyone quickly writing scripts about Iceland.
Yeah, absolutely.
Challenging yourself, what, physically or mentally or both? Do you think?
Both, really. You know, physical challenges come with every job. I really think figuring out a character's physicality is the first step to stepping away from yourself. I don't know if you noticed, but in Cherry, like his movement is very laboured and he's very slow, whereas my physicality in Spider-Man is very clumsy and he's kind of all over the place. So the physical challenges for me is something that I love. The mental challenges is what I find more difficult. But I work with an acting coach called Ben Perkins, who's a great friend of mine, and he is able to kind of dig these characters out of me, which is really fun.
How does he do that? Do you mind me asking?
It's just a trust thing, really. It's just about workshopping stuff and not being afraid to look like a fool and making mistakes. You know, I've made, 20 films now, and some of my best ideas have come from making mistakes on set or making bad choices with character. But that bad choice breathed life into an idea that completely changed the arc of where he was going. So he's just really good at kind of getting it out of me, and I trust him, and I love him. So I'm able to kind of feel comfortable and figure this stuff out.
Will you see him before you take a role on, or do you see him during the whole process, or both?
Yeah. So for example, my next job that I have coming up, I spoke to him a few times about, will you read the book? Will you have a look at the subject matter? Do you think it's something that's exciting? The next job that I have is kind of an actor's dream. I can't really talk that much about it, but it is an amazing opportunity for me as a young actor. And he, as someone who loves shaping performance from people, was very excited about the idea of me doing it. So he's very much involved in helping me decide whether I should do something. There's been a few things where he's like, I don't think you can do that yet. You need to take some time. So he's pretty great.
That sounds great. More questions. Thank you very much for the other question. You can write my questions. Karen, what makes you say yes to a character? We've just done that one, I think. Which character have you played are you most similar to in real life? Oh, that's a bit tricky. Is that tricky?
Ooh, which character am I most similar to in real life? I'd have to say Peter Parker.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Parker has this impossible need to impress people. And sometimes that's a great thing, and sometimes it's a really bad thing, because I get really stressed that I've upset people all the time. And it can be as simple as someone comes in, I go, morning, and they're like, morning. And I'm like, oh no, what have I done?
I'm exactly the same.
and sometimes that can be a really bad thing, but then also it equally can be a great thing because it gives me the motivation to work really hard and to push myself and to make sure that I am impressing people. And I think Peter Parker suffers from that as well. So I'd have to say that him and I are probably the most similar. It would be worrying if I said devil all the time.
Yeah.
A murderer.
Yes. What about Tom? What was your best scene in Chaos Walking from Julie B?
My best scene? There's some pretty cool fight scenes in that film. I haven't actually seen the final edit yet. I haven't had the time to sit down and watch it. I watched an edit years ago that hadn't been finished yet. So I guess that's a question that I'll probably have to wait until I've seen the full film to answer. But there's a fight scene in a river that I was very proud of that took a lot of energy out of me, and I think it's pretty compelling in the film.
Yeah, I think it. Yes, just looking. What's the best film that you've seen at the Olympic? I think that might come from the Olympic owners.
I have to say, and this is very embarrassing, I've only ever seen my own films at the Olympic. The Olympic have been so kind to us over the years with the Brothers Trust and let us use the theatres to host screenings, for children in need who are suffering from illnesses, from charities that we sponsor, and then also for fans that have won raffle tickets to come, and all the money that we raise goes to these charities. So I've only actually ever been to see films that I'm in, which is terrible and makes me sound like such a narcissist. But I promise you, I will come all the time.
How does it feel, though, seeing yourself on the screen? Is there a disconnect?
I think one of the best things about my job is that I'll work somewhere for 4 months, 5 months, meet 200 new people, make new friends, make new relationships. And then at the end of the film, I get this kind of perfectly made scrapbook, which is the film. So I get to sit down and watch a film I made 5 years ago and just think about, I remember when we were doing that because that's when so-and-so fell over, or that's when this went wrong. And like the other day, Zendaya, Jacob and I sat down and watched Spider-Man 1. And, we're 24 now. We were 19 when we made that film. And it was so nice to be able to reminisce and to look back on what we'd achieved as young kids and to the memories we made. So yeah, my favorite thing about my job is that at the end of every job, I get this perfect little scrapbook that I can keep forever and watch whenever I want and reminisce about the amazing people and memories that I've made.
Yeah. Is that what you love most about the movie making process? That sense of collaborative journey towards telling a story?
Yeah, I think the solidarity that is built on set, the camaraderie between the crew and the cast, and everyone has the same goal in mind. Everyone wants to make the film as best as possible. Everyone is working with that in mind. You get to travel the world with people. I'm kind of lucky now that I'm at a stage in my career where it's almost impossible for me to walk onto a film set and not have someone there that I've worked with before. So I'm always catching up with old friends, and we might find ourselves in Morocco for 6 weeks, and all of a sudden me and my mates are in Morocco and we make movies 5 days a week, and 2 days a week we ride camels around or something.
Yeah.
So I just love the kind of the lifestyle it brings and the people that I've met. And I'm going to the pub after this to go meet a bunch of my mates who are all carpenters who worked on Spider-Man 2. So I love the friends and the traveling and just the sense of accomplishment you get when everyone's at the wrap party and having a good time.
Oh, it's great. So to see if I've got a couple more questions, because I know they're coming in thick and fast. Was there a movie or a movie maker who ignited your passion or continues to ignite your passion?
It's interesting. I never wanted to be an actor. It wasn't something I sought out. I kind of was lucky that it found me. It wasn't really until I'd worked with Naomi Watts on The Impossible that I realised that this could potentially be something I could do for a living. And like there are the obvious ones, that the Tom Hankses, the Leonardo DiCaprios of the world that I look up to and admire. But I think the actor that I really am blown away by time and time again, and he will laugh, and every time I say this he laughs, is Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's just amazing, and he's such a nice guy, and we had so much fun working together. I just would love the opportunity to work with him on something where we can really sink our teeth into the characters. But I think if you look at his work, no two films are the same. No two characters are the same. He's able to differentiate himself with his physical capabilities, his emotional capabilities, the way he can manipulate his face. Like sometimes I go, that's Jake Gyllenhaal, but you don't look like Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't understand how you're doing that. And he's great.
With the devil. Yeah, I don't know how he does it either.
No, I'm going to call him after this because I haven't spoken to him in ages, and I need to. As soon as I'm going to call him.
Yeah. Just tell him don't let us stop you. We can have a three-way chat. What is it about the magic of the big screen? Not being in it, but going to see it that you love, because this is all about celebrating return to cinema.
I love the event of going. I love the snacks. I know that's a weird thing to say, but I love the cinema snacks.
Like salty or sweet?
Salt. I don't do sweet popcorn. I think sweet popcorn is mental. I don't get it. It's wrong. I love the event. I love the snacks. I love, because Harry and I now are really kind of educating ourselves and learning about film, and we're picking our favourite cinematographers, and we're picking our favourite directors and writers and producers and costume designers and all that sort of stuff. And we love sitting down after a film and breaking it down, talking about what we loved, what we didn't love, what we would have done differently, what we learned. So for me, it's mainly the debate afterwards is what I love about cinema.
Yeah, the geekery. Love
the geekery, like the
making
I like it, I loved it, all that sort of stuff,
Can you see yourself directing, do you think?
Yes, absolutely. It's one of my big goals, a goal in which I don't want to rush. I'm 24, I've got plenty of time ahead of me to do it. Edgar Wright is one of my favourites, on both of our favourites. We're a huge fan of his, and his movies for us, that's another film. If I had to take a film to Mars to remind me of home, Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
That's a special film. But, I love cinema. I love going to the movies. I absolutely love going to the movies. And I'm very, very excited to get back there because I miss it.
Me too. I wanted to ask, what do you reckon is your own Tom Holland superpower?
What do I reckon is my own Tom Holland superpower? God, that's a really difficult question.
No one said it'd be easy.
That's a really difficult question. God, that's a really, really difficult question. What was the question?
What's your own personal Tom Holland superpower?
Do you know what? And sounds crazy. I'm really good at apologizing. Like, I think it's a very good thing to be able to say, like, do you know what? I messed up there. I will take that on the chin. I apologize. It won't happen again. And I think that is something. Oh, you've gone. Hello?